Hi, good afternoon, one and all. Let us come to ninth biology. As per SCRT, regarding the content, SCRT content, we have total 11 chapters. Out of 11, already we completed 4 chapters, but which are very closely related. I mean that the first chapter, obviously, cell, the basic unit of life, which is continuation as the cell structure and functions, like a cytology. It is one of the branch of biology which study about cell or cell biology. The second one is histology, means the study of tissues like plants and animal. So till now, what are the concepts we are completed? It is closely related, like cytology and histology. 2 branches till now we completed. Now today we began the 5th chapter, diversity in living organisms. So actually, in this chapter is regarding a branch of biology like taxonomy. So let us come into the taxonomy. Taxonomy means it is a branch of biology which is studying about classification. So classifying the organisms. So apart from this chapter, diversity means biodiversity and its conservation. Already we studied in that 8th class chapter. So in the 8th class, we studied as a chapter biodiversity and its conservation. In this regarding biodiversity conferences or meets, how they have to discuss about the importance of biodiversity significance. Apart from that, like these the rare species, like endemic species, endangered species, extinct species, like red data book list. So like that, these are the information, Wildlife Protection Act. So all these concepts which already we completed in that 8th class itself. So the extension part of diversity and its conservation, we are going to discuss about diversity in living organisms. So what is the importance of biodiversity? Already we learned that 8th class itself. In 9th class we are going to study about diversity in the living organisms. Why the living organisms are diverse? For example, if we can see, diversity is the hallmark of the nature. Nature means not in a unique pattern. Of course, we are having different planets, but one and only planet is unique, like Earth, because of it is a living planet which supports the life, and which is a blue planet, which is a water planet. So coming to this Earth planet, the diversity is the hallmark of the nature. Diversity means different forms of species, different forms of species that we call as biodiversity. Actually, in case of nature, when we observe the nature in a keen manner, we can identify that no 2 organisms are identical. Even in case of twins also, they are having a different patterns like fingerprints, their heartbeat, and their iris patterns, so that we are taking the Aadhaar cards, their iris, and biometrics like finger patterns. Even it is differ to that even in case of the twins. So I mean that there is no 2 organisms are identical, means same. But if we can observe carefully, if we observe the nature in a keen manner, it seems to be 2 things in a different. One is an amazing differences. We are having amazing differences from minute to macro. I mean that from bacteria to a huge these animals like blue whales, elephant, like plants like coniferous plants, what we discussed in that 8th class story of microorganisms. So we are having a lot of differences from minute to macro in case of the animal world and the plant world, and even in case of the microbial world. So let us coming to that, we are having amazing differences, a lot of differences, but the wonderful similarities. Amazing differences in the species and wonderful similarities in that one. For example, let us take human beings. We are all having of course the basic pattern of the body posture, body organs, but certainly no 2 human beings are identical. Of course, they are having the 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 legs, which are having the similar to the other person, but there is no 2 human beings are exactly identical in the nature. Because of this is called as diversity. So diversity in living organisms, we can go to that. This is the just look at a glance of that chapter. So before coming to the chapter, yes, these are the topics we are thorough in this chapter. So these are the learning outcomes. These are the coming subtopics which are coming to the diversity in living organisms. So what are the learning objectives of this chapter means, first of all, what is meant by diversity in plants? Apart from that diversity in plants, we can go to the observation of some external characters of plants. So observation of external characters in the sense, for example, flowers or stem or branches or leaves. So while we are observing the external characters, we can understand the diversity in plants. For example, observation of seeds, observation of plant external characters like these leaves and all, stem and all. Next, based on the seeds, we are having monocots and dicots seeds. When we are observing the seeds, we can identify that some plants are, for example, the grass plants are having the monocotyledons. Some pulses family, they are having the dicotyledous seeds. Let us come into the variation in two different neem plants. For example, we can take same species like neem plant. Of course, the two neem plants are different because of their leaf number, stem length, size of the leaf, width and length of the leaves. So it may be varied from the two neem plants. Next, coming to diversity in animals. Diversity in animals. So based on that observation of the external characters in insects, for example, let us take insects. It is a class of Arthropoda phylum, means joint legs. It is the largest phylum of the animal kingdom because of anywhere insects are available. Number of species, lakhs of species are there. If you have to observe the insects, they are having the joint legs. But it is a common feature. When we are going to the observation of external characters of the insects, some are having the 3 pairs of legs, some are having the 4 pairs of legs, some are having the 2 pairs of wings, some are having the 3 pairs of wings. So based on that wings number or legs number, we are having the centripods, millipods. So like this we are having the different characters we can observe in the based on the external characters. Next, variation in the human beings. For example, we are referred to the South Indians, North Indians, Europeans, Americans, West Indies, Negroes, Chinese, Japanese. We are all human beings, but certainly there is a lot of variations in the human beings based on the content. So on content, we are having different variations. So what is the need of classification? Why should we need the classification? For example, that is coming to the education. So education is one of the important greatest significance of these human beings. Let us coming to the education. First we can go to the pre-KG. Pre-KG means these pre-primary, like nursery, LKG, UKG. Afterwards primary classes like 1 to 5. Next upper primary like 6th and 7th. Next high school like 8th, 9th, 10th. Next higher education like intermediate, graduation, post-graduation, doctor of philosophy. So this is the classification of education. So it is very easy to complete that a systematic pattern. So that is why we need the classification of the importance of this understanding the nature. Next, coming to the classification leads to evolution. Means classification in the sense we can first go to the simple organisms like unicellular, next multicellular. So like that classification and evolution. Classification leads to evolution. So evolution means it's a gradual changes, a continuous change, which leads to the variations, which leads to new species. So here evolution leads to new species. Next, classification done by biologists. Actually, some other scientists, for example, classification was done by different scientists like Linnaeus. So, different scientists are classified different patterns, but some are very famous. So, up to till date, we are having different types of classifications based on the tabular form. Apart from that, 5 kingdom classification done by the Whittaker, it was very popularized because it is very familiar to the at present situation. 5 kingdom classification. Next, hierarchy based on the hierarchy of classification. Means 7-order classification. It is also called as 7-order classification. For example, kingdom, next domain, next phylum, next class, order, family, genus, species. So we are having two names of the one living organism. For example, let us take human beings, Homo sapiens. Here Homo in the sense genus name, sapiens in the species name. So we are having two names, obviously one living organisms, entire the world or entire the universe without any confusion. That name is called as a scientific name. That name is called as a scientific name. That giving the naming is called as a nomenclature. The name given is called as a nomenclature. It is also called as binomial nomenclature. Why? Because we are having the genus name and the species name. Genus and the species. Next, so hierarchy of classification, obviously we are having the 7 orders. So first one is kingdom, phylum, next class, order, family, genus, species. Like this we are having 7-order classification. We can explain this in a detailed manner. Next, classification of plants. Obviously the plants are mainly two kinds. One is the non-flowering plants like cryptogams and the flowering plants like phanerogams. So flow chart and the detailed classification of plants from algae to such a huge plants, very big plants. So the outline classification of plants and their flow chart. Next, classification of animals. As like plants, animals also mainly two kinds. One is invertebrates or non-chordates because of lack of the vertebral column like spinal cord is absent. In case of protozoa to echinodermata, the spinal cord is absent, vertebral column is absent, so that obviously they are having the 9 phylums like protozoa, porifera, coelenterata or nidaria, platyhelminthes, nematohelminthes. These 5 phylums are lower phylums. There is no systems are developed properly in these 5. Afterwards, Annelida onwards, we are having a well developed structure like systems are present like pulse rate, blood vessels and separate excretory organs systems are evolved. So Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, these are 4 phylums of invertebrates in a higher phylums. That is coming to the vertebrates or chordates. We are having the 5. Those are called as Pisces, means fishes. Second one is amphibians like frogs, toads and all. Next one is reptiles, the first land tail animals like lizards and snakes. Next, aerial mode of life like aves, means birds. Finally, mammals which are having the milk glands which are feeding to the parent milk and epidermal hair and the skin. So these are the different levels of classification in animals like invertebrates 9 and vertebrates 5. Next one is nomenclature. As we said, is the binomial nomenclature. So without any confusing, entire the universe, every species is having a specific name. The first one is called as a generic name or genus name, and the second one is a species name. For example, take mango tree, Mangifera indica. Mango tree, Mangifera is the genus name, indica is the species name. In India, mango name is called as Mangifera indica. Whereas coming to the tamarind indica. In neem, Azadiricta indica. Here, indica is common because of they are all Indian species, but their genus name is separate. So like this we are having to describe about this chapter. So when we are going to the textbook, we have to observe that one, every page we have the activity oriented, especially in the tabular forms. See, this is the textbook page number 50, lesson number 5, diversity in living organisms. See, coming to that activity number 1 table, next another table. So like this, every page we are having the tabular form. Even one page we are having the 2 tables also. See, every page we are having the tabular forms. So this is the another table. Next one is another 7-order classification table. Next one is Monera Phytonym classification. Next, outline classification of plant. Next, animals like invertebrates and 9 phylums and vertebrates 5. This classification and the characteristics. And finally, what is meant by nomenclature? What is meant by generic name on the species name, like binomial nomenclature by the Linnaeus? So this is the just a brief account of the 5th chapter. Next tomorrow, I mean that next video, we are going to explain each and every table from the beginning, page number 50. Tomorrow we can begin to the table number 1, 2, 3 like this. So thank you children. If you have to go to the textbook, page number 50, by the following of the textbook, it's better, gives the better knowledge and a better understanding. Thank you children. Thank you very much.